Right, okay, this is the Endbringer rule, devised long ago, not my shot, I didn't think of it, but widely adopted throughout the Golf Clash community, a method that I use often in my guides and in my own play, so I'm just going to explain it from my point of view. So this is a previously recorded shot, and I'm just going to slow it down, fast forward and rewind through it and zoom in and out just to show you exactly what I'm doing. So the first thing to do is preset. So if you're using notebook or caddy, preset to the correct ball power and the correct elevation. So the standard Endbringer rule on roundabout level ground, so no great elevation changes, is plus 20, so 20%, and use the relevant power ball. So you can see here I am using a Kingslayer ball, so a power 3 ball, and the first thing I will do is stretch out to the club's maximum and then just pull back so that it's just inside, right there, so that you can see that red line. Make sure you're absolutely on it, on that red line. And once you've found that position, then use a visual aid if you can. I use the iOS grid lines. I used to always eyeball this and it was very accurate, but now that I do use grid lines, it's I guess a tiny bit more accurate. So the first thing to do, you can see what I've done right there, is position the target on the grid line and the ball at the bottom on the grid line. So target on the top grid line, ball on the bottom grid line, and then we're looking for this, the whole position. So imagine this is a scale of 1 to 100, this being 100 and this being, well, 0 to 100. So 0, 25, 50, 75, 100. So focusing on the position of the pin on that scale. Some people use a ruler, grid line with a ruler with 100 little increments on it so that you can get it exact. Generally, that's a little bit of overkill, I think, because the hole is big enough to accept, if you get the play right, the hole's big enough to accept a couple of percent deviation. So I would say that this is 100, where that number 3 is, which is on the iOS grid, is 75, and this is 50. So if you say halfway between 75 and 50 is around, what would that be, 62, 63. We're just above that, so let's call that 67. So if this is 63, 64, 65, 66, 67%, 68% is about right. So what I'm then going to do is set my slider to 67% using 20% elevation. So you can see right there, I'm going to set the slider, which is a feature on Notebook and Caddy, this little slider, to 67%. And that will give me an output figure of 7.7 with the relevant wind, which is 9.0. So 9.0, 20% elevation, 67% slider, gives me an output of 7.7 rings. Now with the Endbringer rule, the standard Endbringer rule, you try to apply 0 spins. So as long as you get a run out on your ball guide that looks like that, which is maybe 2 or 3 squares run out, then that's going to be relevant. If your ball guide is going for miles, like if it's a downhill shot and it's showing that it's going to go here and the hole's here, then it'll be a different shot. But generally, if you get this short run out, 2 to 3 squares run out, then play 0 spins and 20%. So you're not playing 20% at the actual landing position. You're playing, it manipulates the figures, because if you're playing the actual landing position, it would be about 35% elevation on this shot. But it's just manipulating the sort of notebook and caddy numbers to reach the same numbers, like plus 20, a little bit higher up the slider scale, is equal to plus 35 at the true landing position. That's how it works. So basically, set your ball guide through the hole and then move the requisite rings, which was 7.7. So set the white ring to the grid line and move 7.7 rings. Always best to take your time on wedge shots, measure them out, no matter how easy you think they are. Try to hit perfect, and that one is going to drop every single time. So that's the Endbringer rule, or my take on it. Thank you very much.